Two questions, if that's okay. First of all, I'm seeing on this map that there's a lot of Chinese-owned farmland in California. Are you looking into the severity of that and what those consequences are? And then number two, the president has expressed concerns about how mass deportations would affect the farm industry. Do you have concerns on this front? And are you hearing about some of these top conservatives saying that there's a push for amnesty for this workforce?
Well, thank you for those questions. The first thing I'll say on California, and I'd love for anyone else to join me if they have thoughts on that, is this, that a lot of people said, well, look at the red states are the ones leading the way. The red states are the ones that are banning the Chinese-owned farmland, and this is true. But I have to believe that even the Democrat governors and even the blue states realize what a massive threat this is to national security and how important it is. So we plan to work with everyone, no matter which party, no matter which side of the aisle they're from, to ensure that the people of this country and our agriculture farmland is protected. The second question, I appreciate you bringing that up. There's been a lot of noise in the last few days and a lot of questions about where the president stands in his vision for farm labor. The first thing I'll say is the president has been unequivocal that there will be no amnesty. And I think that's very, very important. I and the rest of our cabinet certainly support that, effectuate that, and make sure that happens every single day. The second thing, to your question about mass deportations, the president and I have spoken about that once or twice. And he has always been of the mindset that at the end of the day, the promise to America to ensure that we have a 100% American workforce stands, but we must be strategic in how we are implementing the mass deportation so as not to compromise our food supply. Ultimately, the answer on this is automation, also some reform within the current governing structure. And then also, when you think about, there are 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program. There are plenty of workers in America, but we just have to make sure we're not compromising today, especially in the context of everything we're thinking about right now. So no amnesty under any circumstances. Mass deportations continue, but in a strategic and intentional way as we move our workforce toward more automation and toward a 100% American workforce. And ultimately, it's the wonderful members of Congress behind me who are taking this on the fixing the current immigration system. So thank you so much. Of work, moving a lot of able-bodied Americans off of the government programs into those work opportunities is really what's next.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins reaffirmed Wednesday that deportations will continue and amnesty is not being considered for the nearly 1 million undocumented farm workers in the U.S. Rollins says the administration is shifting toward increased automation and a fully American workforce.
I would say we agree that we need a 100% American workforce. The way to get there is to make the workforce American, let them become Americans. Right now, farm workers who have been here for 10, 20 years, haven't done anything wrong, are paying their taxes.
Antonio de Loera, spokesperson for the United Farm Workers, a labor union that defends the rights of farm workers, says the government should focus on protecting the workforce that feeds America, not targeting it. He points that farm work is a skilled job that requires experience.
Can you harvest the food without breaking it? And that's why, frankly, the Secretary of Agriculture's comments were a little divorced from reality. The idea that robots or a bunch of Americans who are coerced because they've lost their health care are going to be able to replace this workforce. I mean, that's completely fanciful.
Historically, nearly half of all U.S. farm workers have been foreign-born. That's why the United Farm Workers Union is pushing for bipartisan immigration reform. Reporting in Yuma, Alexandra Rangel, Arizona.
Okay, so let's make America great again. Let's make America great again. Now, how many of y'all knew from the beginning when he first ran, he was using that statement, that he was talking about let's bring back slavery? Because America ain't never been great for people of color. Never. We're doing better today than we ever done before. But America has never been great for all Americans. Never. So, when he makes that statement, let's make America great again, he is 100% talking about the return of slavery. Now, granted, I guess they plan on giving back Medicaid if you go and work in them fields. However, most people that get Medicaid is people that can't work. And then you got people that are working that is getting Medicaid. Now, what they supposed to quit their job and then go work in the field in order to get Medicaid? I'm not understanding that. That's just not. It's not like it's a lot of people not working, except for people that are not able to work. Sick people. People that are not able to work. There's very few people sitting at home not working just because they don't want to work. But in all honesty, mothers should be at home raising the children in the way they need to be raised, to be perfectly honest. If the mothers were at home raising the children like they should be raised, all these children wouldn't be running around here doing the things that they doing. All this crime and all this late night creeping by teenagers and whatnot, all this shooting by teenagers and drugging and all this stuff, all that wouldn't be gone. Wouldn't be going on if mother was really at home doing what she's supposed to do. However, most mothers are out of the house working. Most dads are working or doing something, but they're not getting Medicaid and they're not getting food stamps. I don't know very many men that are not working. And those that are not working, they don't get food stamps or Medicaid. So I don't know where he's going with this besides slavery. How are you gonna, first of all, the money that people work for, you take the taxes out of that money. When we go to the store to buy items other than food, you take the taxes out of that money. And all those taxes is to go to help the less fortunate. When the less fortunate is really working. The majority of them is already working. Or they cannot work. So, you're taking the taxes already, and then it add injury to insult. Wait. Thank you, Lord. Hey. The immigrants that you're deporting. The majority of them pay taxes on the money they make, even though they are undocumented. There is taxes coming out of their paychecks. So you have taken their money and then put them out of the country. After taking their money. That's not right. That's not right. God hate ugly. God is not, he hate ugly and ain't too crazy about pretty. He want righteous. And yes, scripture tells us to don't let our land be overtaken by immigrants. Yes, we're supposed to vet them out, and it's a process for them to do. But because our government, before this government came along, the government was the ones that opened up the borders and allowed them to come in. So now they did what our government allowed them to do. And then here you come in, our government, a new era, and you causing these people to suffer because they did what our government told them that they could do. So you causing them to suffer. You sending them to countries that they don't belong. They're being tortured and tormented. You done open up something that they're calling the alligator Alcatraz, I think. And you torturing them and tormenting them in there from what the news is saying. So, I mean, what are you doing? And you know, when I first heard about that alligator Alcatraz, something in me moved the wrong way. I'm not one to dwell on slavery. I'm not one to try to have attitudes with people because of slavery. I put it in its proper place. I say, let's forget about it and move on and make our ancestors proud, because they suffered through, and they suffered a whole lot. They went through things that no man should have to go through. No animal should have to go through. And because they did that, I think that we, their offspring, should just move on and just continue to make it better and better and better as they want it. However, when I heard alligator Alcatraz, that took me back to when they was feeding the babies to the alligator, using them as bait. When they was taking people and men and women and children and throwing them in the water so the alligators could eat them, so they could just stand there making sport of it. You're taking this thing back to slavery. That's what you're trying to do. Now the Republicans are standing behind you. Democrats, Supreme Court judges, y'all got to do something about this, because this man is literally trying to take it back to slavery days. Just like he said, let's make America great again. And for white people, and I hate to put it like that, but it is the truth. For white people during those times, and the only times that people thought it was great, was when white people had black people as their slaves. They're not aiming for black people this time, but they're aiming for brown people. And let the truth be known, he's literally aiming for black people as well. Yes, there's a lot of white people on Medicaid, but there's a lot of black ones too. It's gonna be like the field. It's gonna be like you had the darkens out in the field and the lightens in the farmhouse. I mean, how you gonna do this thing? You had the white ones in the farmhouse, and then you got the black ones out there in the field picking stuff, right? Right? Is that what your plan is? Y'all, I hate to see God move, but I love to see him work. I hate to see him move, because when he moves on something like this, it's not a good thing. But I love to see him when he go to work. I love to see him go to work. I know that you people in Washington, Democrats and Republicans, Supreme Court justices, all of you, I know y'all can see exactly what this is headed to. This is not a good idea. You cannot make somebody go to work for something that they're already paying for. You can't do that. And the little people that are not working somewhere doing something is unable to work. So you see, y'all need to stop with this nonsense, because ain't nobody blind, ain't nobody stupid. So y'all think black people stupid. Y'all think brown people stupid. Ain't nobody blind and ain't nobody stupid. We all see where you headed with this. We already knew that when on your first term. Y'all killing off as many as you can. And then what's left, you're going to try to put into slavery. But I'm here to tell you now, God is not going to allow that to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just not. This is unbelievable. And it's just wild and atrocious to really think that mankind is allowing this to happen, that is in the top part of our government. Our government is allowing this to happen. It is atrocious to think and to see that mankind haven't grown enough to come up out of the foolishness. We have history to learn, to move forward, not to make the same mistakes over and over. But here we is using history to go back to the foolishness that we thought we had came away from. We thought we had arrived, we thought we had just grew from that. We thought we had, well, we ain't arrived, but we thought we were closer to arriving than what we are. where we have a full-blown racist sitting over our country as the president, the leader of America, the once strongest country ever, which is not strong anymore, taking it backwards. And then we got half of our political party rolling with him. That is strange, unusual, atrocious, and just non-believable. Non-believable. Why would you take it backwards? Why? Why are you trying to make people be slaves? It's not going to happen. I don't see no black person getting out there in that field, no matter what you do. I just don't see it. Because there's a lot of people ain't got over that. I'm not like most. Most black people ain't got over slavery. And he's going to send them back to the fields for their Medicaid. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I already see what's going to happen. But I'm not going to speak it. I will not let that fly out my mouth. But this, what you're doing, is straight foolish. And to be perfectly honest, as I've said in some of my other videos, you really don't know what you're doing. Just like the people didn't know what they're doing when they voted you in. And I kept telling you, you don't know what you're doing. You put them in there. You don't know what you're doing. They put you in there. I was correct. They don't know what you're doing, what they was doing. Now I'm telling you, and I've said it in 2 or 3 of my videos, Trump and the Republicans following you, you don't know what you're doing. You truly, truly don't know what you're doing. You're thinking one thing, but it's going to be totally opposite. It's going to be totally opposite. I pray this thing get worked out before the Father had to step in. He already stepping in on some things. But when it comes down to you talking about putting people out in that, you talking about bringing slavery back? Yeah, okay. Y'all, I love y'all with the love of Christ. Trump, praying for you. Republicans, praying for you. Whether God listens to my prayers concerning y'all or not, I highly doubt it. But I'm still sending the word up for you anyway. Because I pray y'all open y'all eyes to see the foolishness that you're doing and the mistakes you're making. You think you're going to do one thing when it's not going to be what you think it's going to be. Okay? Y'all taking these people money, and you living good, you and your family living good off their money. Y'all living good off America's money, the workers' money. And now you want to break it down to slavery? Yeah, nah. But y'all, love y'all with the love of Christ. Until next time, peace. Stay blessed. See y'all next time.